Hey guys, Tarnish here. So today I wanted to go over priest in general, so holy priest and disc priest for the healers. Uh, so essentially want to go over and go over the flatline utility spells that both priests will bring to the raid no matter what, just because they're flatline priest things. So obviously we're gonna bring fortitude, 5% HP. We're gonna bring leap of faith, grip players to you, obviously a huge utility. Mass dispel, and both priests will have an external cooldown. Obviously, they affect the raid very much differently. However, they both have an external cooldown, which is very, very big. Now let's go into the talents for Holy that are being used right now. So we have Enlightenment, gives you mana. Angelic Feather, which is the go-to for raid because it's very situational. There's a lot of ways to min-max with Angelic Feather. What this can do is give you a very, very good way of adding utility to just simply mobility, right? So you can put a feather on the ground and people can run through it and hit those markers and essentially run through them and go faster. So very nice, very useful. So definitely something to think about is your feather placement. Cosmic Ripple is the go-to right now. This obviously synergizes with your Holy Wards, which you should be using off cooldown. So it'll obviously add a healing 5 targets near you. Very good talent for Holy Priest. Go-to came from Legion, I believe. Shining Force is a go-to for both specs. However, this is a utility spell, so you can really take whatever talent you want in both specs for the 35 row. It's all up to you. But Shining Force is a go-to for both. Here, obviously, I've seen situations where priests will use all three in Shadowlands, so keep an open mind with this talent bracket at level 40. Binding Heal has had use in the past, being very, very powerful, along as well Surge of Light for DPS and Mythic Plus. However, for right now in the pre-patch in general output and raid specs, the prayer circle is what most people are using. This obviously synergizes with your prayer of healing, reducing the cast time by 25% for 8 seconds. Just a useful talent for your raid healing. Halo right now is outperforming Benediction. If you play Holy Priest back in Legion, you know Benediction was kind of a huge talent. No longer so. Halo has surpassed it, and I think it has a lot to do with Holy Ward Salvation, which is giving renews on all the target and prayer mendings out to the people in the raid, which obviously takes away from Benediction because now you just hit Holy Word Salvation, and then you can divine him and go hard. So I think that's why these talents are being used in raid. Now, what utility does Holy Priest bring by itself? I would have to say Symbol of Hope is the go-to biggest thing you can bring as a Holy Priest. What it does, it gives a mana back, right? So I think it believes it's like 2% mana. Yeah, so 2% right away. The whole raid gets 2% mana. And then every 0.9 seconds for 4.5 seconds, you will gain an additional 2% each 0.9 seconds. So very useful. You're gaining around, I think it's like 6% mana back, somewhere around there. Pretty nice. Pretty nice, right? 6% mana. Can't go wrong there. Huge for progression fights having a symbol of hope that you can make sure people use during the raid at the right time to min max with output. Their external cooldown is Guardian Spirit. This obviously increases HPS on the target by 60%. And then if they do tend to terminate that, right, it'll consume the wings. If the player was essentially going to die, it'll consume the angel and heal the player for 40% of the maximum health. This is just a useful external in case situation where you're afraid someone's going to die. Obviously, it's not a damage mitigation external, which is the go-to. It is like the most powerful as a damage mitigation. However, Guardian Spirit, it's good. Can't complain, right? Cannot complain. So overall, Holy Priest is looking pretty solid. Now let's go down and break into Discipline. All right, boys. So we're looking at Discipline right now. So Discipline, we got Schism. Schism is a very powerful talent. Increases your damage, essentially getting increased HPS as well for 9 seconds on a 24-second cooldown. So you have some downtime, so you got to make sure you're thinking about when you use this. However, essentially it is a go-to talent. Does a lot of damage, a lot of HPS increase. Angelic Feathers, I typically will use Body of Soul here, guys. That's what I'm telling you. This talent row, you can really use whatever you want. Angelic Feather has a lot more strategic gameplay. Like I said, you can literally set it up so people who are trying to run away, you know, from a mechanic or whatever the case may be, you can have these set up so that people can just run into them. It's very nice. It's very useful. Um, it's a pretty significant run speed increase. So uh, a good talent to have. Body and Soul though, basically when you shield them, they'll run faster. Obviously, there's some synergy there as well, having a shield and they're running faster. However, Angelic Feather being set up prior, there's really the debate is simple as this: you could have Angelic Feather and still get the similar effect you would get from Body of Soul. So why not take Angelic Feather is essentially the debate on the topic. It really does not matter, guys. Use whatever you want. Angelic Feather is just the go-to right now. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you get a mouse over macro for it. The next talent also kind of debatable. So Shield Discipline has been used in the past. I'm thinking it goes back down to I think Cataclysm era healing. They had that where the power word shield gets consumed, they get 0.5% of the maximum mana back, right? So that's the whole idea. You want to use this talent when there's a situation where a lot of damage is going out and you're getting a lot of shields consumed over the entire raid. If that situation does occur, shield discipline will outperform power word solace. However, for consistency and overall, we're just going to go with power word solace for the fact that every 13 seconds you essentially will 100% have the potential to increase your mana by 1% of your maximum mana every 13 seconds, so long as you use it off cooldown. So if you use Power Word Soul off cooldown, you're consistently going to be giving yourself 1% more mana. So consistency wise is, I believe, why people are using Solus. Um, can't go against it. It's good talent. So it's nice to know that you have options here, though, right? 35 row, just like Holy Priest. Uh, Shining Force is a go-to, but really any of these, it's up to you on this talent row, guys. You're not going to get knocked for having anything else. Shining Force is obviously pretty useful, but the other two aren't bad. Sins of Many is what people are going with right now. Your damage is increased by 12 to 12%, diminishing for each effect of your atonement upon on your raid or group. So if you have a bunch of atonements out, your damage will go down. But there's a situation where there's not a lot of healing, or maybe there's a DPS check where we have to kill the boss in this moment. Just let your atonements fall off, and your DPS will go up 12%. So there's a lot of flexibility with this talent, increasing your damage and healing when needed. So I think that's why this talent is being used. Purge the Wicked is the go-to still. Has been this way for a very long time. Just gives you a more powerful dot. Um, and then Spirit Shell and Evolutionism. I'm pretty sure I messed that up, butchered it really bad. Sorry about that, guys. But these two talents are 50-50. So some people are using the Evolutionism, which gives you a higher atonement by 6%. I am butchering that bad. So, anyways, gives you 6 seconds more on your atonements. Very powerful, as you can imagine, for HPS reasons. And Spirit Shell gives you an absorb over your penance and Power Word's Radiance. Those atonements will now create absorption shields over those targets, being very, very powerful for adding shields to the raid or party, right? Just really good, right? It's a lot of fun. Obviously, where I'm going to say utility for this priest is simple. Those shields are a huge utility to a raid. If we're in a situation where it's going to bring everyone down to 20% HP, but you can shield the entire raid. Well, you just gave the entire raid a little bit more HP coming out of that. Not to mention, this priest has the big powerful dome, 25% damage mitigation. Everyone gets in it, you're taking less damage. So this priest obviously has a huge, huge, huge utility with that spell alone. Um, and we still have Spirit Shell or Evolutionism, which will increase our overall HPS. So either way you want to go with it, Despres have a lot of utility, and pain suppression, reducing damage again, an external damage mitigation. It's a 40% damage mitigation, huge, fat external cooldown, very good for progression rating. A high or a situation where you know a person's going to take a lot of damage. Pain suppression is the way to go. This is the way, boys. Going forward, that is pretty much it for Disc Priest. Absorbs, shields, externals. Disc Priest got it. Now let's look at the overall power of Disc and Holy Priest. All right, boys. So Holy Priest and Disc Priest, how are they doing? This is it right here. They are right on par. 6,700 for Disc, 7,000 for Holy. Keep in mind that that barrier will be invisible healing, which I would suggest putting it right on par with Holy Priest. So they are essentially right on par with each other. Discipline giving absorbs and shields, Holy giving raw HPS. Which way do you want to go? The decision's up to you. Discipline does bring damage to the table as well. It's something to not overlook. The fact that Discipline can actually do damage is pretty insane. So obviously Shadow Priest is winning, right? But Discipline Priest is pulling 862 DPS with up to 2,000 almost 2,000 damage. Holy Priest is pulling 300 to about 1,200. So as you can see, there's a very big DPS increase between Discipline and Holy. However, the HPS difference is very, very small. So the edge of utility is definitely going to Discipline. However, Holy Priest is looking very, very powerful. And not to mention, you can't discredit the fact that the Holy Priest gives your entire healing team more mana. So if you add that to the Holy Priest, I think the Holy Priest takes the cake. However, you look at the overall damage mitigation and absorbs, then you would say Discipline takes the cake. So really, however you want to look at it, Priest is looking phenomenally strong. Uh, can't overlook either one of them. You may even see situations where you're having Disc and Holy Priest in the same raid because they are both amazing. So, uh, yeah, guys, this was Tarnish. I hope this helped you. Tarnish out.